Today's going to be diving into some spicy SpongeBob mistakes. These ones are all pretty crazy. You guys will enjoy them, and by the way, make sure to subscribe as I'll be responding to the comments of all subscribers. So if you're subscribed and you comment, I'll respond for sure. But anyways, let's get into these mistakes. Let's go to the
Museum. This enormous vessel was once the largest in all the seas, but now that it's been converted into a museum, it no longer moves.
Let's go to the museum. This Enor vessel was once the largest in all the scenes, but now it has been into a museum. It no longer moves. This one's kind of funny. So as you can see in this first shot of Incidental 14, she has no belly button. You can see, right? You can see her stomach. There's no belly button, but then randomly in this shot, she now has a belly button. So a weird continuity error. Not that big of a deal. But hey, the ones I have coming up are spicy. Our first set of mistakes can be found in the episode. Plankton retires an episode where, well, I mean, the title kind of explains it here. Check it out. So turns out Mr. Krabs has beaten Plank down. So much that this man, this evil little dude, retires. It's crazy, but hey, maybe there's a twist before we get to that, though. Let's take a look at the first mistake. Let's see if you guys can catch it. Okay, so here's the thing. When we first see Karen, as you can see, she isn't plugged into anything. There's no cable coming out of her computer body, but literally a second later, and look at this shot as now Karen is plugged in and requires to be like powered, making for aerially weird mistake. Here's another one just like this one. Let's see if you guys can catch it without my help. Yeah, so I was right. There is a twist, as you can see, but also more importantly, what's going on with Plankton's eye? His, like, pupil is just gone, and it looks really awkward. Let's move on to some even crazier mistakes, though. Oh boy, this next episode really packs a punch, probably because it's all about karate here. Take a look at the plot. It's a really good one.
Intruder that fails to attack me. Wow. If you want a belt, you must earn it. Okay? But how can anyone ever truly know whether he or she is worthy? It is simple. I conduct a series of tests, and if you pass, I will give you a belt that shows you know karate.
Who is this intruder that fails to attack me? That's my friend. Wow, yes, but if you must earn it. Okay, but how can anyone ever truly know whether he or she is ready? It is simple. I conduct a series of tests, and if you pass, I will give you that shows you know, like I said, that does a really cool plot with SpongeBob training to get his karate belts, and he does in the end, but at the same time, there's also a mistake. Let's see if you guys can catch it.
I was wrong about you, SpongeBob. You are now a karate master. Here.
What's on your parties? I eliminate. It just exists.
This one is really bad, but as you can see, SY's entire body like duplicates for a frame. And no, this isn't like an animation technique. This was a straight up mistake. And here's another one. Let's see if you guys can catch it. Yeah, this one admittedly isn't as bad, but why is SpongeBob's teeth yellow? A fairly common SpongeBob error, but it's still a mistake, and it's still worth mentioning, and the one coming up in this next episode is crazy. So as I just said, the episode is Yellow Pavement, and this is really cool, as if any of you have seen the Season 5 episode Boat Smarts. Very similar, where it's Miss Puff presenting an educational film about driving. Here are some clips. It's a bit... It's a bit of a weird setup for an episode, but I totally get it, and I'm into it. It's really funny seeing all of the different driving scenes, but let's get into the mistakes. They're spicy. Here's mistake number 1.
Here we have the unusual drink.
This one happens really fast, but as Squidward. Like right as he goes off screen for a single frame, there's something up with his face. Looks really... I'm pretty sure you guys can figure out what's going on. I feel bad for Squidward, but let's move over to mistake number 2. This one's even crazier. So right after Squidward nearly kills this like orange version of Patrick, like doesn't this guy look exactly like Patrick? He eventually runs into these two dudes carrying a piece of ice. And take a look at this incidental. Right, hair. As you can see, he's wearing his work uniform, which is brown, but take a look at like his arms and his chest, as he's wearing like a blue shirt underneath the brown part of his outfit. I know I'm really explaining this, but remember this. As when Squidward jumps the piece of glass, look, that undershirt has completely changed. And it's now the same color as like the brown part. It's just all brown. I'm kind of overthinking this one, but hey, it's still a continuity error, and let's move over to our finale episode for our spiciest mistake. Our next episode is a SpongeBob classic. I'm talking about Krabby Land. This episode is all about Mr. Krabs coming up with a new scheme to get money out of kids on summer face. Here's some clips. It's hilarious.
You see, boy, during the summer, the children are excused from their classes. A recess commonly referred to as summer break. I guess summer isn't coming this year. Maybe there aren't a new playground over there. Playground! Look at him, SpongeBob. So weak and malnourished. With nobody trying to settle him up. Breaks me heart. The way you drove the boat around on the ground was kind of cool, but that's not gonna get these munchkins away from this playground. Unless... SpongeBob! You're just in time for the grand unveiling of Krabby Land! Here we go! I give you...
See the summer children from Summer, I guess. Summer is coming see. Look at SpongeBob, so weak. And Mal with nobody trying to you drove the ball on the ground was kind of cool. But that's not gonna get these M away from this Spob, your M for here we go, I give you now. As funny as this episode is, it does have 2 mistakes that are very easy to miss. So as you guys seen, Krabby Land is meant for little kids, but during this scene where we see like this big lineup of people waiting, we can see numerous adult incidentals. They're supposed to be kids, but the animate put adults instead, which was a mistake. About our favorite grumpy squid, Squidward, that being the episode Professor Squidward, which is also a really good episode in my opinion. I actually laughed at this one a ton of times. Here's some clips. Yeah, we can go for fun minutes without having any further interruptions. I would. Music like everybody he was about to say is actually, I think he was about to say, skew you two NS Mind telling me what. You're doing in music class anyway. Sure, Patrick F's resolution was to learn to play an instrument. You told me your resolution was to sign up for an all-natural slimming toning and increased muzzle MTH program. It was I traded with SpongeBob SpongeBob. Do you mind? There are other people here besides you, you know, and I don't think they appreciate you depriving them of my I'm sorry. Music professorum. Okay, mistake time. So here's the first one. Keep those eyes peeled, as always. This one's kind of hard to miss, but once I explain, you'll get it.
Isn't it grand? What is? He's such a great musician. He doesn't even have to touch an instrument to be brilliant.
Gran, what he's such a great musician. He doesn't even have to touch an instrument to be brilliant. This character right here is incidental F9, and for the most part, she's wearing a dress. In this episode, right? But when Fred says, isn't it, Gran, her dress is just missing. It's kind of hard to see because somebody's in front of her, but yeah, her dress is just gone. And she should go put that back on because this is a kid show. What's going on here is there's some...
Is there something seriously wrong with your head? My whole life has been pointed in one direction. I see that now. There's never been any choice for me. Point your two nincompoops, turn it on! Hold on, my goodness! Hello? We're with the local Bikini Bottom news channel. I'm a reporter.
This one's another complicated one, so listen closely, guys. But when Patrick rides his locomotive into the trash can, Squidward exits the building and places the can outside, right? He exits through this door right here later, though when both the news crew and the police come into Squidward's classroom, they enter the same door, that same door I just mentioned, but now it leads into a hallway. It's like the entire geography changed before that door, LED here. Now the door leads to a hallway, so just, yeah. Weird mistake, and that's probably gonna do it for today, guys. First up is the episode Ma and Pa's Big Hera, an episode where SpongeBob's parents come back for the first time in like a long time. Take a look.
Well, we'll just have to grow a new home. And in the meantime, we can stay with our son. Your house? Oh no. Stay with me? Why, of course you can. I just thought of something. My parents haven't seen me in a while. They'll be expecting their son to be a little more, well, adult. Look at me. Won't this be fun, dear? I'm looking forward to hanging out with a hip young urbanite like our boy. Hello, Mother. Peter. This is truly a pleasure.
Well, we'll just have to grow a new home, and in the meantime, we can play with our son. Hello, hi, hi, Dad House.
SpongeBob is very different. He's turned into a very boring old man. Here, take a look at these clips. We also have the first mistake. Hopefully you guys can spot it.
4 o'clock in the afternoon.
What do you say we sneak out and have some fun? Okay, Mr. Mature, it's time for you to have some fun. It's Bikini Bottom after dark, baby!
One is pretty straightforward, so as you guys know, this is Con Street. It's where Squidward, SpongeBob, and Patrick live, and as you can see, Patrick's house is right here. But in this shot, they just didn't draw Patrick's house, and like, dude, look at the gap. It should be right there, so talk about a mistake. Let's move over to mistake number 2 though, and let's see if you guys can spot. Be honest, I personally had a hard time finding this one, but take a look at this nurse right here. As you can see, she's wearing these fresh kicks, these fresh shoes. But as SpongeBob runs past her, they just forgot to draw her feet and the shoes. It's a really weird animation era. Like, at first she looks like this, she has shoes, but then she looks like this and doesn't have shoes or feet. Weird. And I have one more mistake. So yeah, this one happens really fast, but as Harold and Margaret skate their way back to SpongeBob's house, Harold's sleeve is uncolored for a few frames, resulting in it being like blue. It's supposed to be white, but it's blue. So yeah, 3 mistakes in this one episode. It is a good episode though, but let's move over to another season 3 banger. First up is the episode Nautical Novice, yet another Mrs. Puff banger of an episode. I really like this episode, so check out the setup. Maybe
Tomorrow, if I can impress Mrs. Kamp with an extensive knowledge of boating history, she'll give me a boating license on the spot. What was that? Nothing.
man, SpongeBob was very committed to getting on that bus, and he succeeds. But let's rewind a little bit as back. During the beginning of the episode, there are 2 really bad mistakes, guys. Let's see if you can catch them, which
brings us to the subject of rudder maintenance. Barnacles, just as we were getting to the nitty-gritty. Wait a minute, class. Remember, we will not be here tomorrow. We will be going on a field trip to the boating museum. Now run along, kids.
brings us to the subject of RER maintenance. Just as we were getting nitty-gritty, wait a minute. Class, remember, we will not be here tomorrow. We will be going on a field trip to the boating museum. Now run along, kids. So first up is this one, which I don't think I need to say much, guys. For about 2 frames, this incidental just loses her shirt, and I actually think the animators did this on purpose, because why are her breasts like drawn? The other mistake is this one. So as you can see, this girl is wearing pearls, but for 1 frame, 2 of them turned black, which was just another weird mistake.